Hi everyone, this 5-minute webinar has been made to help you understand some more about the other community pharmacy funding envelope. Not the envelope that pays for dispensing and consulting services, but the envelope that pays for the medicines and the medicine supply chain. The drug envelope is a large amount of money, around 800 million last year, and represents the largest part of the community pharmacy turnover. This is compared to around 380 million paid for dispensing and consulting services. It's important to remember when thinking about the medicine supply envelope that pharmacies are paid when a drug is claimed for and not when the medicine is purchased. The time and costs between purchasing the drugs from the supplier and getting paid for the drugs must be paid for by the business owner, and this is sometimes called the funding cost. Now, most of the pharmacy sector's attention has been on the service envelope for the last few years, and this is rightly so. It's important to get this right. But it is also important to ensure that clinical services are supported by a robust and equitable medicine supply chain. This webinar is a simple review of the medicine supply envelope and how PHARMAC's purchasing practices will continue to erode the funding essential to provide medicine supply services. Now, the medicine supply envelope is primarily made up of two payment parts. So there's the payment for the drugs themselves and a markup on the cost of the drugs of around 4% for medicines under $150 and 5% for medicines above $150. The drug markup was last changed in the late 1990s. To understand that drug envelope, we need to understand PHARMAC a bit better. Now, PHARMAC operate with two prices: the gross price and the net price. It's the gross price that pharmacy is most interested in. So how does that work? Well, PHARMAC agrees a price with the supplier and publishes it in the schedule. Let's say that's $100. Now this is the gross price, but it's not the actual price that PHARMAC has agreed upon. This is the net price. So that may be $80, for example. Well, where's this $20 gone? Well, it's gone back to PHARMAC as a confidential rebate. Now, rebates are a way for PHARMAC to help the pharmaceutical companies control their international pricing. The amount paid in confidential rebates is declared in the PHARMAC annual report every year, and the total amount varies a lot. In 2010, it was only $50 million odd, but mostly over the last 6 years, it's been between $120 and $160 million each year. That's the difference between the gross spend and the net spend. We don't know what percentage of drugs this rebate is applied to because this isn't disclosed by PHARMAC. In the last financial year, like in 2010, PHARMAC had a big drop in gross spend, around $49.5 million. This was caused by a reduction in the confidential rebates paid and because of a reduction in the net spend of drugs as well. In this current financial year, 2013-2014, it looks likely that a further $30 million will also drop out of the community pharmacy channel. So when PHARMAC drops the gross price paid like they have over the last 2 years, pharmacy and wholesalers feel the pain because they're the ones providing the medicine supply chain services, but on substantially less money. It's important to remember here too that PHARMAC isn't necessarily negotiating a much lower net price. It may be just altering the payment terms, moving from gross to net payment, the impact of which really just falls on community pharmacy. So what else does PHARMAC's annual report tell us about the medicine supply chain requirements over the next few years? Well, PHARMAC's statement of intent suggests that prescription numbers are going to continue to rise into the future. So the medicine supply chain is going to continue to need to grow and service more and more consumers. So the markup on the gross drug spend pays for an equitable, stable and safe medicine supply chain. It allows pharmacists to undertake their contracted obligations to dispense medicines within a 1-hour window and also gives consumers the peace of mind that they can go to any pharmacy anywhere in New Zealand and get the medicines they need. So the medicine supply envelope pays for the cost of the drugs, obviously, but also funding. So it's the cost of the medicine sitting on the shelves in the pharmacy and in the wholesalers after purchase, but before they've been claimed for, the distribution costs, commodities like bottles, skillets, lids, labels, storage, particularly storage for hazardous or fridge lines, breakage and wastage, and don't forget IT systems and infrastructure, purchase orders that need to be sent between computer systems. So what can you do to ensure that we keep a safe and equitable medicine supply chain for all New Zealanders? Look out for more information from ProPharma, but you might want to call Stefan at PHARMAC and tell him that you're concerned about the drop in gross spend and how that's impacting on your pharmacy's ability to deliver medicine supply chain services. Also call your local DHB funding manager. Don't assume they understand how the medicine supply chain works, how it's funded, or really what it's paying for. Talk to Tracy Adamson at DHB Shared Services. She's the Program Director for Community Pharmacy Services, and she has a special responsibility to ensure that pharmacy is able to deliver on its stated objectives and is funded adequately to do so. And tell the Pharmacy Guild you're concerned. They need to understand how the medicine supply chain services are being stretched at the moment and what they need to do to help you ensure that we have a safe and equitable service for all New Zealanders. Thanks very much for taking the time to listen to this message. If you want to discuss it further or would you like more details about it, talk to your local ProPharma manager or key account manager and they'll be very glad to help you.